Hi, I'm Patrick Ogle for Gearwire, and as I usually am, I am talking about acoustic guitars. And the last several we've done have been cheap acoustic guitars, ranging in price from, like this one, around $150, although it lists for more, but we'll get into that later, to some that are up around $200 in the low 200s. And I was thinking of going to the doctor and having myself checked out because I really haven't had a lot of bad things to say about any of these guitars. And part of the reason for that is that they're, it's really hard to get enraged over the quality of a $150 guitar. And in a number of cases, I've been impressed by, guitars in the 200 range that were much, much better than I thought they were going to be. This guitar is an Ibanez SGT120. It says that it's solid wood, that it has a solid spruce top. I guess it doesn't feel like it or sound like it or look like it. It looks very thin, and there's this horrible paint job. So the paint goes around, so you can't really see the grain because obviously the grain's going to be here, but on the side here you can. That's where you can kind of tell if it's laminate. And there's nothing wrong with a $150 guitar that is laminate. If it sounds and plays okay, there's nothing wrong with that. You're not getting this as a collector's item. That said, it's not a fantastic guitar. It's okay. It sounds okay. And I will say this for it. Unlike some other guitars, it does stay in tune because I kind of ear tuned this. It's probably not really in tune, but it's in tune to itself. So it stayed in tune. It sat around for like a couple of days, and when I pulled it out, it was more or less in tune. So that's a good thing. The action is a little bit high, and it's one of those things like if you get a guitar that's a little bit more expensive, we've talked about some of the Epiphone guitars where the acoustics where they're not bad guitars in some ways, but the hardware is really horrible, and so you might want to replace all of that. I don't think you're going to buy this guitar and replace anything. I just think this is something to buy for a beginner. And it's not horrible. It plays okay. It sounds okay. It's not the sort of guitar that's going to turn somebody off of playing the guitar if it's their first guitar, even though the action's a little bit high. The tone is just flat. There's not a lot of bass to it. But it's not. For the price, it's actually not bad. So I'm kind of like ragging on it, but I can't bring myself to say, oh, it's awful. Oh, that's saying it's awful to me is reserved for a guitar that costs $1,500 and sounds like this guitar. What I would recommend is if you're look around for other guitars. This comes in a bunch of different colors. I think it comes in black, red, natural, and blue. I got the blue one sent to us. And if you really care about what it looks like, I think the red one actually looks better. But it's kind of a cheap, ugly, but serviceable guitar. It's the Ibanez SGT120. Lists at around 220, realistically 150, and I would say beginners only, and I would give it, I would say okay for a beginner. If somebody's just starting out, it's not a bad guitar for them to start out, and it's not going to turn them off of playing. And but if they do like it and keep playing, you're probably going to want to replace it in like 6 months. So you might as well look a little bit higher up the food chain. I don't know.